Welcome to the abbreviated version of this demonstration about Go the Distance, our new program with Yes and Exercise and Rock Steady Boxing. I'm going to go ahead and bring back our
This
power.
is the discussion about rock steady boxing.
This is it. Yes. Hi. I see the name Maria, but I don't think you are Maria unless I'm mistaken.
No, this is Bob.
Hi, Bob. I'm going to go ahead and change that on your screen so we make sure we've got you. Yes. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the PowerPoint and we're going to continue. You'll just hang out. You'll catch up, I promise. Okay. And I'm going to just mute you for just a second there as I bring up that document. Make sure to do, oh, there it is. Okay. So we were looking at this, right? The nuts and bolts. It's all here in front of us about what the course is. And just very briefly, 16 weeks, one class per week, 90 minutes per session. Every class is recorded, meaning that if you miss a class or have a conflict with something else going on, you can watch the recording. And many people do. They've got vacations, they've got doctor's visits, other things. That's okay. We're going to have a litany of different things that happen in the meeting. And your writing process, one page per week, which we will very much help you with. We know writing is challenging on multiple levels, and we faced that over 5.5 years of running this program. So we're confident that we can help you get there. All right, let's take a look at, there's another game I'm going to hold off on called Mirror, but ping me at some point if I don't bring that back, because it's a good way to bring us together. All right, what I want to talk about is the idea of defining story and valuing creativity. What is a story, right? Well, here's a couple quick definitions about what a story is, because people say, tell us your story all the time, but it's not the type of story that does what we're going to work on here. A story is, and this is from Robert McKee, he says a story is a selection of events from a character's life, very important word, character, composed into a strategic sequence to evoke specific emotions. So we're back to emotions again, right? Why do we tell stories? Why do we watch stories? To be stirred emotionally. If we can't stir emotions in ourselves as we're writing and those who are reading, then we haven't done the job of a story, okay? And the stories are character-centric. They are about somebody, right? And they must be meaningful and directly related to the character's desires and conflicts. You have to want something, and there has to be a block to wanting something. That ensures the audience engagement. Why do we watch stories about people who want something and have a hard time getting them? Why would we do that? That sounds like, if it's explained that way, you're like, gosh, that sounds rough. Why do I go after a story that has people struggling? Wouldn't I just like to watch lollipops and unicorns all day? Wouldn't that be better, Karen?
Makes it more exciting and interesting.
Exciting and interesting. Wonderful. Anybody else? Why do you personally watch stories with, because I guarantee you do. If we break down your favorite stories, if they're in any means, broadly based, it's because they follow this formula. Why do we go after stories that are difficult and challenging? Tom?
A story is the how you live your life. Mm. A story is how humans make events understandable.
Right.
It makes you understand. Why do you hate your mailman? Because he threw all your mail away. And there's a story in that right there about why would he do that? How do you react? Right. It's the frustrations of life, and that's how we get in and out of situations, is how we make sense of the world.
It's very true. We're neurologically hardwired to not only understand, but engage in and pattern stories. So that's the default. Whether you are a storyteller at this point or not, whether you're a writer or not, you're already engaging in stories because that's what your brain is built to do. You're patterning all the time. The question becomes, do you want to fall into the default stories that other people are telling you or that you're absorbing? Or do you want to be the author and influence? None of us can control our story, but we can influence our story based on becoming the authors of them. All right, let's take a look more at this definition of story. And again, feel free to ask questions as we go forward. So we talked about what a story is according to Robert McKee. And here's some essential foundational story elements: clarity and engagement, meaning that we have to know what's going on very clearly. Who is this about? Where is it happening? And what's at stake? That's the engagement. If there aren't high stakes, if there aren't things of value happening, once again, we're going to tune out. When the audience is confused or bored, boom, they're gone. So why do you care about Rocky's story? Go ahead and give me a reason. Give me one reason why you care. Everybody said they watched Rocky. Give me one reason why you care about Rocky. Go ahead, Karen.
Because he's the nobody that gets to finally be a somebody.
A nobody that gets to be a somebody. Good. Anybody else? One reason why you care about Rocky, John?
A loser gets to be a winner.
Loser who gets to be a winner. Absolutely. I mean, that's a human feeling. We all have felt but like a nobody, like a loser. And seeing somebody overcome that, oh my gosh, that's wildly human. Okay. Anybody else? Why do you personally? This isn't about right or wrong. This isn't answering a question to be, get an A or a check plus. This is just your personal opinion. Why do you care about Rocky? I assume you came here for partially that reason. You saw Rocky in this. Why do you care about Rocky? Maria, I can't hear you. I see you talking, but you're muted.
Rocky has a lot of heart.
Oh, wonderful. Rocky has heart, and that's attractive. Why does his heart attract? Go ahead, Maria. Why does his heart attract you?
Because he really cares a lot. He wants something badly.
When we see somebody caring, when we see somebody wanting something badly, that evokes that spirit inside of us. Oh my gosh, I know what that is to want something badly. And we realize that's a vulnerable state. When somebody is vulnerable, we're worried about them. We care about them. We have a rooting interest for them, right? Rocky is extremely vulnerable in this movie, isn't he? He gets knocked down in many ways. And by the way, probably what carries this as much as anything is his love of Adrian. He puts himself out there for a woman she's very, quiet herself. And he's able to bring her forward. And then he's able to learn from and lean on her. And it's not because she has brute force. It's because she has undeniable support and love of him. And that's what really tells his story. Because when he laughs at the end of the movie, is he looking for the audience's approval? Is he looking for Mick's approval? Yo, Adrian! That's who matters. Love wins, everybody. Love wins. Okay? So that's why we care. Now, there's a term called aesthetic distance. And this is important in creativity, that Sylvester Stallone is not Rocky. We're all clear about that, right? Just want to make sure. However, Sylvester Stallone could relate to Rocky. He, as an unknown screenwriter at the time, felt like that loser, felt like that outsider, felt like it was impossible, right? So he created Rocky and poured himself into that character. And then acting as well, went ahead and became that character. But that doesn't mean that Sylvester Stallone grew up a boxer and, a hustler or any of those things. He didn't. But he knew those guys. It was somewhere in his reference, or at least he was interested. So this is what we're encouraging all of you to do too, is not tell your literal blow-by-blow story, because we become prisoners of the stories we think we know about our own lives. Aesthetic distance frees us from that to tell the truth in fiction. The truth in fiction helps us see ourselves as more than we are. Sylvester Stallone became sly because of Rocky, right? Rocky birthed the Sylvester Stallone superstar. What could we birth of ourselves when we engage in this aesthetic distance, telling our story with just a little separation, right? We engage our creativity, our hopes, our dreams, and maybe even the impossible. If you can think of something that's impossible for you right now, impossible to dream of, could you have a character that could become part of that story, that could write that thing, that it doesn't matter if it happens in real life or not, you put it on the page and you, for this moment, got the reader to believe in the impossible. How many of you have seen a story where something impossible happened? And let me go ahead and bring this back to the screen. Can you think of a story where the impossible has happened And maybe it's moved you and because you were like, oh my gosh, there was no way. I'll start by giving an example of my favorite movie, Shawshank Redemption. There was no way Andy Dufresne was getting out of that prison. It was impossible, but he did it. And when he went through that sewer pipe and emerged and put his arms up, okay, that is one of the greatest cinematic moments in history, right? To me, because that he declared freedom and he got himself there. Anybody else you've engaged in a story that challenged your notion of what's possible or impossible and how it affected you? Yes, Karen.
The Green Mile is one.
Yeah. It was impossible.
Yeah, that was impossible, but somehow it was possible and very believable the way it was laid out. And yeah, that's a favorite.
There's no person like John Coffey, and yet John Coffey was the most real, wonderful, amazing being. There's no way that Tom Hanks's character could have lived to 100-odd years old. However, he did, and in that story, once again, love won, right?
Exactly.
So if you can't think of it, don't worry right now, but just put that in your heart. Russ, did you have an idea of a movie of the impossible?
I think an interesting one is Groundhog Day. I mean, what actually happened couldn't really happen, right? The repeating every day. But the part that was real to me was how he realized he was really in love with Andy McDowell, and Bill Murray, and he just every day he just kept working on it and working on it, and it showed some of this, relentlessness and love. It had all those elements. It just had that unreal part about waking up every day the same day, but I think it had the, discounting that part, about waking up every day the same day. It had a lot of real things that hit home.
Yeah, Russ, remember the power of metaphor, because Russ has also been through this program before. How many of us have felt like we have been in a sort of a Groundhog Day? Every day feels the same. We're getting up. There is no change. There is no transformation. There's no hope. That's where Bill Murray is. He's jaded. It's lost. It's the same stupid thing over and over again. And that's why he gets put into a fictional setting to recognize his humanity and have it reset, like you say. Karen?
Well, a lot of the times when you've got Parkinson's, you feel stuck in that. And that was the biggest change that this program made for me. It was getting me unstuck from that mindset, because when you're dealing with it alone and you're not sure which road to take, you get stuck. And this is definitely a program where, if you feel stuck in that mindset, we will help you out of it.
Right. And this is where we work with the existing wonderful programs like Rocksteady, who do such an amazing job, Rocksteady does, of unsticking people's physical self, right? And I know it's very social. It's wonderful the way it works. There's a piece of the person that isn't being addressed in the Rocksteady program that says, what about the underlying causes? Who am I in all of this space? And that's the unexplored that we get to explore. We get to really work and dream and put the effort into the impossible that keeps us going, because it is that idea of what's impossible in front of us that lets us know, wait a minute, I have something to fight for, right? Not just for existence, not just for getting along, but for something really big. Yeah, this is crazy. Want to come? And yeah, a lot of people do. Tom?
Can I throw in Casablanca?
Sure. But you can't just say the title. Tell us why it's impossible.
The Casablanca, it always inspires me. As many times as I've seen it,
Yeah.
it is why do we go on living? I mean, ultimately, you can't. How are we going to just stay in Casablanca running a bar and that's it? That's it for our life? And we've been given a challenge. What are we going to do about it?
And he's willing to give it all up at the end. He's such a hero. He sacrifices.
And walk off with his new buddy.
Yeah. There is transformation once again. The impossible has happened.
Until now, I didn't really see the similarities between Casablanca and Groundhog Day.
There you go. And you're right. And Parkinson's, the way that Karen framed it, right?
Yeah.
Any of us that get stuck in a loop, we work to unstick ourselves. And once again, this is work. Let's talk a little more about the process of story. I want to make sure we get into that, because there are stories about Parkinson's out there that are misaligned right now that, again, cause active damage to who we are. The least effective and all too common story about Parkinson's disease goes like this. I got diagnosed. It was scary. I started exercising. Now I'm fine. Okay. How many of you know this story? Because this is the stuck part. Yeah, I see a couple hands in the air, right? Is that really all there is, well, at least I answered the bell and I got to the point of being fine. Is that what we're supposed to do, is survive Parkinson's? Or is it possible to thrive? I see some nodding heads.
Definitely possible to thrive, but yeah, the false spine is where, yeah, that does more harm than good, because there's more you can do, and just the emotional side is so much more than than a lot of the physical, and that's where we take apart the emotions and try to redefine what life means.
Exactly. And here's the thing, the problems with those stories. Is it clear, that story above?
No.
Not really. No, it's kind of vague. What do you mean you got diagnosed? What do you mean it was scary? You started, what do you mean you were exercising? And God help us, what does fine mean? And is it engaging? No.
Oh.
Because somebody who's fine, again, doesn't give us anything. So that's not an effective story, even though that's probably the most common story going right now. Other problematic stories, and again, these are just out there right now. PD isn't that bad. How many have heard that one before? Oh, yeah. Oh, it could be worse. Well, it always could be worse, but that shouldn't limit the fact of the stakes of PD, right? And unfortunately, it does. When people say, oh, at least it's not X, or at least it's not Y. It's like, are you kidding me? PD is that bad. That doesn't mean give up. It means accept it. And how about this one? You don't look like you have PD. Oh,
Yeah.
am I not shaking enough for you? Am I not frozen enough for you? Do I have to physically display my symptoms in order to get acceptance? Because again, the psychosocial, emotional, unseen parts of Parkinson's are at least, if not more, part of what's going on with this disease. And that's what needs to come across through the vehicle of story, because stories are emotion machines. PD is just an old white man's disease. And I got a couple ladies in here who are shaking their heads at that. And by the way, I have many friends of people of color and many people who are early onset. And by the way, what if you were an old white man with Parkinson's? Does that mean that too bad, that's just what you get?
No.
Yeah, let me hear from some of my old white men friends in the room. It's not
We've all old.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I wasn't talking to you. So, yeah, exactly. It's not like, oh, that's just what you get. That's not okay. But that's a story that's out there. And then OPD is mostly tremors. How many people agree with that? That's what Parkinson's is. It's tremors. It's
No.
not. And yet that's the thing that people tend to understand. If they're the way to get them to understand more isn't just to say more, it is to tell stories. Stories are sticky. Stories have ways of penetrating the noise. Stories are engaging when they're well told. And again, it's not easy to do. However, that's exactly what we do here. Okay. So watch out for those misaligned stories, because our greatest sickness really isn't Parkinson's or anything else. It's no. And that's why we are yes and. Denial may be our greatest sickness. We know that PD is more than a motor disorder, and pretending the scary feelings don't exist. How many of you know the iceberg metaphor for Parkinson's, right? All the stuff underneath, the untalked about symptoms, while the motor symptoms are the stuff on top that get all the attention. It's a misalignment, and that's a problem from story. Fine is a 4-letter word, and keep it there. And then the homeostasis trap. We have amazing systems that can help us, quote unquote, normalize so many things, including Parkinson's and how we feel about it. And yet That normalization can also make us feel stuck. Groundhog's Day, Casablanca Day, right? We could, Shawshank Day. We could be stuck, but we need to break through. And how do we do that? Well, one way is to rewrite our stories. We live by come as you are, that we recognize we're not always going to feel like doing what we're supposed to do. Part of the deal. Tom laughs. He knows, right?
Yes, I know very well.
Tom, I think you've called this bullshitter syndrome. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't even know, I didn't even reason out the term. And it just came out of me, and all of a sudden I thought, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And that's what we do together. The recollection and the recognition, like Tom talks about, we don't even know what we don't know until we bother to look. And we look collectively. We look with aesthetic distance. Psychologically speaking, giving ourselves that gap allows for the unknown to happen between us and our fictionalized character. We need to have separation, therefore, to understand what's going on in the space in between. Okay? So, do we want to write our story, or do we want to hand that story and that power of that story over to someone else? Choosing to write our own story means getting uncomfortable. It's choosing courage over comfort. How many of you know Brene Brown? Heard of her before? Wonderful social worker, wonderful author. And this is it, knowing the power of story. Stories are happening. Do you want to be the author, or do you want to pay money to read your own story written by somebody else that you don't necessarily agree with? I mean, that sounds awful. Let's be the authors of our own story. All right. And we'll show you how. All right, forward. Here we go. Here's a breakdown of the value of story. PERMA. And how many of you know Dr. Ray Dorsey, the author of Ending Parkinson's Disease? And they've got a new one out coming out, the Parkinson's Plan, I believe, he and Michael Oken. Well, I got the chance to interview him, met him a few times, and he said these 5 words that are just really valuable. The Parkinson's community is too nice. You know what he means by that?
Yeah.
What? What does he mean? Oh, I thought I heard somebody. No?
Well, I think he means just that we're not aggressive enough as far as our interactions with people when they look at just people that we normally socialize with, but also with the medical community, pharmaceuticals, and other things that attract charitable, charities and things like that. Like we did amazing things for AIDS,
Yep.
and that was a movement. So I think we need a movement, strong movement.
HIV, AIDS, March of Dimes, cancer, amazing causes. They deserve everything they get and more. Why not us, though? Why not us? Like Russ says, there's too many stories that have said it's not that bad, or we feel like we're tempting fate to speak up, like we're not worth it. And I'm here to say we are all worth
something.
Oh, I hear somebody. Is that you, Mac?
Okay.
I'm going to mute Max because I don't think he meant to speak right then. Okay. So this story here by Dr. Ray Dorsey, Parkinson's community is too nice. Let's rewrite that like this. Know this. First of all, when Russ brings up the funding, Parkinson's receives about 1/10 as much of annual funding as Alzheimer's and HIV, and 1/30 of cancer. That's how devalued from a story standpoint Parkinson's is. PERMA works like this. P, the positive emotion, joy, gratitude, and love for overall well-being. This is parallel to the call to adventure. Remember that map, the call to adventure, the hero's journey? We're fueled by positive emotions such as hope and curiosity. That's the P. E, engagement. This parallels the heroes crossing the threshold. Stage 5, right when we leave the ordinary world. It emphasizes the importance of wholehearted immersion in activities that induce a flow state, providing joy and fulfillment. How many of you know what a flow state is? Yeah? That's that feeling of being so engaged in something that time seems to melt away. This is where we get when we are engaged in our own stories and the stories of others, right? Relationships. This is where this mirrors the hero's journey with allies and mentors, highlighting the role of positive and meaningful relationships in fostering belonging, support, and happiness. Whoops, that just dropped off. This is the article it came from. Let me pull back from that for just a moment. I've got the rest of this, I promise. So we've got the P, we've got the E, we've got the R. And now let's bring forward, come here, you. There it is. Not that one. That one. That's the one we want. P-E-R-M. Okay, can you see that? I want to make sure everybody's seeing that. Are you seeing that screen or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not big though.
Let's try it again. Let's see if I can re-engage it in a correct way. I bet that'll do it. How's that? Okay.
I have
No, still not seeing it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
I see it now.
Okay, very good. So M, meaning, aligns with the hero's profound introspection and reconnection with the higher purpose in the ordeal, emphasizing the quest for significance through values and goals. And then the A, accomplishment, echoes the hero's triumphant return in the 12th stage, the return with elixir. After gaining wisdom, signifying personal growth and achievement, this is akin to pursuing and achieving meaningful objectives in life. So this was put forth in an article of Psychology Today, and there's been many stories done about the value of the hero's journey in living well. So it's not just for Parkinson's. This is, again, a human condition. So you feel free to look that up, and there's many more articles too that speak to the value of story. So I'm going to stop for just a second, just to see, have I sold you on the idea of the value of story? Have I given you enough to say, okay, story matters? How many say yes, story matters at this point? Okay, good. Because if you're still not sure that story matters, I don't know what else to tell you. Maybe we need to one-on-one and talk more. But if story matters, then how we tell the story has to matter. That's where we go next. So let's engage in that mirroring exercise. Let's come together. And many of you are off the screen, but even if you're off the screen, perhaps you can engage with us in this just to see what happens, okay? I'm going to start moving. I want you to move with me, all right? Everybody do that. This is mirror. Wonderful. Got that? Good. Go ahead and move. And then, great. We move together, all right? This is a movement we're making together. I'm going nice and slow. In a minute, we're going to have some of you take over. I don't know which ones, because that's the unknown part right now. And I want you to go nice and slow so we can follow you too. All right? So when I call switch, you're going to have a choice. You can either follow somebody else, or you can choose to become a leader. All right? It's up to you. When I say switch, you can't follow me. And switch. And switch. Nice and slow, nice and slow. Help people follow you by going nice and slow. Switch. And one more time, switch. And relax. Good. Okay. Tell me the feeling of connecting to others like that. What happens when you connect to others in the game? What do you feel when you connect to others in the game of mirror? Go ahead, Karen.
teamwork.
Teamwork. Wonderful. Anybody else? What do you feel when you engage and connect in the game of mirror? Yes, Russ.
Well, depending on how you're doing it, focusing on the person, because like I was leading the whole time, so I was focusing on doing it slow, like you said, so they could follow.
Great.
I was able.
Super. Focus on others, right? Not just ourselves. And by the way, Russ brings up an important point. How many people think leading is the right way to play mirror? If you think leading is the right way to play, okay, how many of you think following is the right way to play mirror? How many of you think it depends? Yeah, it does. That's right. Because just like in life, are there times that you need to lead, right? and times you need to follow, and how to know which is which. Well, let's get comfortable with doing both so that we're ready to switch roles based on the unknown that life's going to throw at us. Because isn't the unknown what life is all about? None of us know what's going to happen. We have our patterns, we have our desires, and then we have what some people call curveballs. Lots and lots of curveballs. How many people expected to get Parkinson's and put that down on their bingo? Yep, I got that scheduled for this age and I'm ready for. No, right? So we need to practice to exercise improvising. Improvising helps us understand storytelling too. It helps us understand what's next. Any questions about any of the exercises we've done so far? Anything we've said about story? Let me give you, yes, Karen, before I go forward. Go ahead.
About improv, it helps us prepare for that unknown.
That's right. It's an exercise. And just because you know what improv is, doesn't mean you know or get to benefit from its effects. Just like if you throw a jab, now are you perfect? Can you throw a jab perfectly forever? Because, well, I did it. I know what it is. You got to throw another one and another one and another one, right? We have to exercise in order to keep that fresh. This program is built mirrored on exercise principles, very similar to Rocksteady Boxing. Rocksteady Boxing is an example for what this program was built on too, which is another reason for our collaboration. And again, big thanks to Ryan Cotton, CEO of Rocksteady, for seeing that and wanting to partner with us. Now, some of you have asked, well, so what's the end result? Well, I'm going to give you two looks at two things that are end results from students right now that have come out of this program. And you can see where they are and just give you a feeling of them. There's two students. One is Terry Van Bibber. And Terry Van Bibber is a woman who loves Rocksteady Boxing, amongst many things. And she also is someone who is rather shy when it comes to public performance. She'd never given a keynote presentation and got invited by the Parkinson's Association of Northern California, which does a huge annual event, over 700 people. And she not only said yes to it, which scared the pants off her, she said, I'm going to do something creative. I'm not just going to go up there and say, hi, I'm Terry. I got diagnosed. It sucked. I started exercising and now I'm better. Nope. She chose to be creative. She chose to really put herself out there. She not only embodied her emotions, she became joy from inside out. And I'm going to show you a little piece of that right here.
Hi, I'm Joy. I've been Terry's primary emotion since the time she was a little girl. Back then, it was mostly just us. And life was a dream. But of course, even dreams have rain clouds. This one's name is Sadness.
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
And this is Fear. Fear keeps Terry safe.
Okay. Hi, yes, nice to meet you.
And last but not least, make some noise for Anxiety.
Oh my goodness. Wow. This is a lot. I don't know what to say. We have to think about this. This is important. What if I say it wrong? What if they don't like us? We have to make sure.
Okay, Anxiety, you can just say hi.
Oh, okay. Hi.
So that's the beginning of what she did. And I'm going to fast forward here to the end so you can see how she explained what this was.
Hi, I'm Terry Van Bibber. As much as I'd like to be Joy all the time, the truth is there's more to me. And I'm learning to embrace all these parts of myself. One of my favorite quotes is by Joseph Campbell. He said, "We must be willing to let go of the life we have planned so as to accept the life that is waiting for us." I encourage all of you, feel all your feelings. Don't hold back. Actively give compassion and grace to the parts of you ravaged by Parkinson's disease. Find a PD community you can thrive in. Celebrate yourself. You are worthy. Joyfully anticipate good. I dare you. Remember, you belong, and it's okay to feel all your feelings. Thank you.
And thank you, Terry. So that's a beautiful presentation. Let me ask you your feelings right now. I see Karen wiping away tears. Anybody else have an emotional response to Terry's presentation? What did it make you feel? This is an example of a story, and one that's told well. Anybody want to share the feelings you feel about this? Go ahead, John.
It's not easy to always acknowledge all of the different feelings that arise. It's much easier to go to the, the more common feelings, the ones that we're comfortable with. Just that it's not an easy process.
So what's the value of doing it at all then, John? Why not just avoid it?
I think the payoff is that you feel more complete, more in touch with yourself, more in touch with the world if you're able to actually access.
I love what you said. It's hard. And yet we do create a space to do the hard work together. And I thank you so much for that, John. Anybody else? Your feelings about what you saw? Karen, have you composed yourself enough to where you'd like to share? I'll come back to you. Go ahead, Karen.
Just dare to dream.
Dare to dream.
And the whole thing's great, but this last part, everything she said, just every time I've watched this and now even more, it gets to me, and she's big time inspiration to me. Well, she tells me that I'm an inspiration to her, and it's just one of the many close friends I've been able to make here. Thank you.
You've yes-anded each other. Tom, go ahead.
You need the successes to get through the bad days. You will get through the bad days if you remember that there's a way out. There are other ways that you can loosen up. You're not going to be in the depths forever. There are good days and bad days, and you just have to get through the bad ones and grab hold of the good ones.
You've been here before. This is resilience. Thanks, Tom. And Russ.
Life just isn't easy a lot of times, whether we're talking about Parkinson's or something else. And I just feel that passion and relentlessness, resilience is like so important. And to not be afraid and just look forward, look at your goal. And the thing that resonates with me is the passion and compassion, and bringing everybody in from the community in with you, and you joining in with them, yes-anding each other to make a better world.
And by the way, just so you know, and I know you're wearing the Fearless shirt, that fear is a natural part of all of what we are, that while we'd like to not feel it, it's okay to feel it too.
Yes,
and
I agree.
We build that place. And as we saw Terry embrace, fear, sadness, anxiety. These are parts of who we are, even if they're not our favorite emotions. And by doing that, we become more whole, as John suggests. I'm very quickly going to just go over Matthew Moore, who has this in product. He had no experience as a screenwriter, was an actor and not even, had written one play, but now has a feature film script in development by going through this program, that it's out there. And he just won the best first-time screenwriter from the Top Shorts Festival. So it's another result, and many more to come. So, these are the types of things we're building and that we want for all of you. Sorry.
I Googled it. And
there. We'll have that available too if you want to see it. It's on our website under the Cinema Therapy page. Okay. Look at everybody just wants to keep talking. Let's see if I can get through this page there. Here's our class goals so I can wrap and be good on everybody's times. We're going to have fun, work hard, we play a lot, and we support each other at all times. That's what we do. Make no mistake, it is work, and we're going to have fun. We're going to play our way through a lot of this. We're going to engage in this safe, brave, and creative space that allows us to create short stories that can be included in an anthology to be published by Rocksteady Boxing. So this is the thing. Rocksteady Boxing wants to hear from you. pointing you. Everybody point at the screen right now and say, you. It's all of you, okay? So that is, once again, the people with Parkinson's, the care partners, family members, the coaches, all of you, your stories, these creative stories we will co-create can become part of an anthology that Rocksteady can use to lift all of us up even higher. Because for as many people that know about Rocksteady, there are 10,000 times more that don't. And great stories will help them understand who and what we are. Everyone in the Rocksteady Boxing community is welcome, and the cost is $2,000 per participant. Now, I know that sometimes causes sticker shock for people. Here's what I want to tell you. First and foremost, if you believe this program's for you, reach out. Talk to me. Let me know. Let's see if there's a creative way we can do this, because I've had people fundraise, I've had people find grants, and I've had people even do exchanges based on their professional services, to do either, outreach marketing types of things for me, whatever it is. We are a nonprofit, so we do need money to survive. And that's why we have that price there. This is like a college class. It's priced at that level. Now, remember, it's 16 weeks. An hour and a half per week of engaged class time, plus the time that I'll spend with you rewriting, helping you, giving you notes on your story. So there's a lot of value, a lot of growth that's going to happen in that space. The proposed start date for this class is Monday, August 12th at 12 noon Pacific. That's Pacific. Now, that's a proposal. If you're going, wait a minute, that doesn't work for me, don't worry about it. I'm open to other dates. Hold on. What's that, Karen?
It says the 18th, August 18th.
Yeah. Oh, I apologize. It's September. I said August, didn't I? No, it's August. What am I getting wrong?
You said it was August 12th.
Oh, August 18th.
But you wrote August 18th. Sorry.
All right, okay. You threw me in ways I didn't even know you were going to throw me. It is August 18th. What's written on the screen is correct, at 12 noon. Monday, August 18th at 12 noon. That is our proposed start date for this class, which will get us done just before Christmas, okay? Early December. So I'm open to other dates and times. If enough other people need another date and time, and I know we're coming from all across the country, sometimes from other countries. So please, note it on the sign-up form if this is going to work for you. Where to sign up? You go to the website, yesandexercise.org, Rocky SB, and there's a sign-up form right there. Okay, so that's what we're doing. That's how we're doing it. I want to stop and take questions, any thoughts, any feelings. We've spent the last hour together. It's been magnificent, and thank you everybody for all of your sharing, all the things that you bring to the Rocksteady community and the Parkinson's community. Let me be just wide open. What can I answer for you? What are your thoughts or feelings at this point, Barbara?
Hi, I know I was listening the whole time, I promise. I am a Rocksteady Boxing coach. I thought of so many people in my group that would really enjoy this. So do you have something made up that explains the whole program, so that if I present it to them, is there a way for me to present it to them?
The best thing to do is to go to the website, right?
Okay.
Which is yesandexercise.org. Here's the tab, Rocky SB. And I think everything is here. If anything's not here, please let me know. If you look at this and go, no, Robert missed that, I'll also post this recording of what we've done today, and I'll put that on the page as well. But there's how we sign up. There's how either you can sponsor your or donate your own tuition, because it all goes to Rocksteady Boxing. I'm sorry, to Yes and Exercise, which will in turn, get the stories for Rocksteady Boxing, and the sign up right there. Either one of those buttons will get you. Okay. So Barbara, take a look and let me know if this doesn't get you what you need. I think the site does a pretty good job. And the video gives a quick 1-minute overview. So a couple ways of approaching. That sound fair?
Yeah, thank you. That's very helpful. I came upon your email 5 minutes before the whole thing started, so I didn't have time to really look into it, but I was like, wow, that sounds really cool. Let me check it out. So,
well, you made it this long, so we must have passed the cool test. Thank you, Barbara. No,
cool.
I sincerely appreciate that. Thank you so much. Anybody else, your thoughts or feelings or questions? Yes, Tom.
I think the thing that is important to put across to prospective participants is the idea that this is a many-thronged approach. And some days exercise works, sometimes it doesn't. Some days your creative side and writing and telling your story works, and some days it doesn't. And some days improv works, and some days it doesn't. And so there are enough aspects for this. It'll catch you where you are eventually. And I think that's an important thing to understand.
I think that's very important. And to recognize, back to again, that metaphor of being stuck. We get stuck in different places. It's never going to be one thing. We never know what we're going to get when we wake up in the morning, right? Life with Parkinson's is like a crappy box of chocolates, right? So that's why a multi-tiered approach is so important. Yes, Karen, I see your hand.
Well, the other thing that this does, thank you, Tom, for putting it awesome, is if you can only get so far on your own and with self-help books and doing your own thing, where this program, if you've ever engaged in any type of self-help program, it makes all that self-help make sense in a way that you can't make sense on your own. Just like, the Rocksteady Boxing, they look at all the issues. This class also looks at all the issues, and the merger of both, I'm excited.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Barbara, for letting me know that you just got the email.
But by the way, Karen serves as secretary for Yes and Exercise, and her and I have been burning up the email and phone paths. If you haven't heard from us yet, you will. Rocksteady has posted us on their social media, and I know some of you have received. They put out a blast to all the coaches about this as well. So that will continue. They have a big quarterly release that I think is going to go out next month. So we'll do this class more than once, by the way. So we just want to get this first one started here in August 18th, not the 12th, August 18th. And so we want to get that out. Courtney, you wrote, will this recording be available to send? Yes, we'll have it on the website. So thank you for asking that, and no worries about being late. Thank you for what you do for your clients. We're so appreciative of having you here. Anybody else, questions or comments? And once again, feelings. Russ, please.
Well, a couple of things that I'm kind of passionate about as far as creating stories is using poetry. And well, the second one is something I'm not real good at yet, but is producing videos too. I want to do. So I was wondering if there's a way I can incorporate that, especially if I do take the class. I'm going to be up against the deadline for the World Parkinson's Congress. I want to submit a video of my own. And I think the due date is October for that. So
I know it's October 20 because I'm submitting Boys of Summer, the fourth film. So yes, the answer to that video you saw of Terry's, that is something that I did with her. And the video you didn't see of Matthew's is something I edited for him. So yes, video is in my my skill set. Happy to make that part of your class experience. We can talk about that. Because we know that people want to proliferate what they're doing. And yeah, we can work on that, Russ, for sure. Anybody else, questions or comments about the program? And again, feelings, anything you're feeling, it's so important because we don't know what we don't know until we put it out there. So if you have an insight or a feeling right now, please feel free to throw it out there in the room so that we all might be able to yes and it. Let me propose it like this. Here's a game that sometimes helps. It's called I Like, I Wish, What If, and it'll be our closing circle game or our closing screen game. You're going to pick one of those three, either I like, I wish, or what if, and it's going to start a phrase for you, okay? It's going to get you into how we say goodbye to this moment. I like this, I wish this, what if that? Pick one of those three about anything we talked about in the last hour, and let's send this out on a high note. Who has an I like, I wish, or what if they'd like to send us out with? I see Venetia.
What if I have stories to tell, but they don't connect to each other?
Oh, that's a good what if. What if our stories don't connect? You tell them all is certainly my feeling about that. We'll worry about the connection later. You may not see how they connect yet, but I bet they will. Russ, I like, I wish, what if?
I wish that one day if I talk to somebody about Parkinson's, that they could shoot back to me something they understand about it, and this person would not be have anybody involved with Parkinson's in their life. So they just learned it from other sources. So if we get those other sources out there, maybe more people will learn, because it seems like nobody knows. I didn't know anything about it because I didn't have any relatives or any association with it. And that's a big problem, I think.
It is. The community at large, not just the Parkinson's community, but the at-large community needs to understand more about it. Karen, I wish, what if?
I like that you included how important Ray Dorsey's message is. We're too nice, and we got to stop being too nice, or else we're never going to get the funding we need so we can prevent future generations from having to go through the same crap we went through. So let's tell those stories.
Thank you, Karen. That's the way to do it. Tell our stories. I wish, what if? Anyone else before we say goodbye for the day, Tom?
What if it became general knowledge that there are things that you can do to improve your life with Parkinson's that have nothing to do with medicine?
Well, Rocksteady kind of sits in that front, right? Because the idea that exercise is medicine wasn't so 20 years ago, not in the Parkinson's world, right? It was a study that was done by Dr. Jay Alberts in the cycling world that opened up Rocksteady, that brought Scott, what's his name, Lawson? I'm sorry, I'm getting it wrong, but Scott, the attorney from Indianapolis who has Parkinson's, and started pursuing boxing in his garage with a friend, fighting back. That basically bore truth and witnessed to power of what it was. So could this be medicine too? I absolutely believe so. Storytelling is medicine. Connection is medicine. Improvisation is medicine. Thanks, Tom. I like all of that. Anybody else? I wish, what if before we get out the door? Well, I'll close with this to say, what if all of you decided to sign up and join us? I hope you will. If you have questions, please reach out. You have my information via an email, robert@yesandexercise.org. I would love to hear from you and love to answer any questions you have. Don't forget, August 18th, that's our first class. So go ahead and get signed up and let me know what I can do. Take care, everybody.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.